All right, we're good.
Well, everybody, welcome to Grinding Game episode 10. We're changing up the format. We're going to start going live once a week with all of you guys. And we're going to be touching in on the Resident Evil Requiem reviews are in, and Capcom has done it again, let me tell you. Meanwhile, Marathon just had a big server slam, a big test, and now they have just gone live today. We got a lot of thoughts about that as well. But everyone, I'm Chris. That's Nick and Dave. Welcome back to Grinding Game, and we're happy to be here with y'all live. Chad, if you want, as you jump in, kind of give us your thoughts on Resident Evil as the boys and I start catching up. But Nick, I'll pass it to you first since you just got back from Bourbonville, USA. Had a big trip with the other guys on the other podcast you do. How'd that go, my friend?
Oh, it was great, man. We went down there, and the whole purpose for going down, which I mentioned on last week's episode, was to select that barrel. Um, and I will say that was a highlight of it, dude. It was very fun. We got to go through Buffalo Trace Distillery and really see their whole operations. I mean, it was insane. We they went places that, I work in manufacturing, which we'll leave it at that. But to think about how just they like it was like, dude, they just let me go back and like places. I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. I don't even have a hard hat on, thinking like that. But they were super laid back.
Just start
We,
giving them OSHA safety tickets. Like, here you go.
dude, I was thinking it when I was in there.
Excuse me,
Um,
is this safe?
yeah,
I hate
but
to be this guy, but can I see those forklift licenses, please?
yeah. No, it wasn't that bad, dude. I was just thinking of it's just a wild pool because people have been drinking too before they go in there. But hats off to them. It was a really cool experience. The dude that was with us was awesome, but we picked the barrel. That was fun. But one of the highlights of the trip, man, was the Arsenal game we caught. So we went to Derby City. I think was the name of the bar, Derby City, and it was sick. It was a little fan club they did, and they had all the games playing. So we played Chelsea. We beat them 2-1. Great game. The whole place was going wild. Well, I probably ingested more beer than the average man could handle. And so after we won, we're talking to the guys and we say, why don't we go to the Chelsea bar, the opposing team, go see how they're feeling? And so we walked probably like a mile and a half, just primed, waiting to go. Oh, we got in there, man, and bartender was not happy to see us. I'm surprised he served us. Threw up his hands right when we walked in. He's like, "Really, really, guys, you're gonna do this after the Arsenal game?" And so two guys came around from the other side of the bar, and it's like, it's like that moment you're thinking too, you're like, why did I do this? Just asking for trouble. But they actually they did be pretty nice guys. We did talk. My buddy um shoot him out of the door. He was messing with him, but it was fun, dude. It was a long drive. Glad to be back in the studio here with the boys, ready to talk some games.
On our first live episode, first of many, right?
Yes.
Dave, how are you been doing, my friend? We haven't been we all been kind of off comms a little bit lately. We all been pretty busy. So how you been doing on your side of the world?
I'm doing good, boys. I'm sitting in a nice, clean, nice, safe first place in our fantasy league right now. I know we'll probably get into some of it later, and I know it's quickly about to change because the reviews from Marathon are about to go in, and we're about to get into some of the good or some more of the counter pick action.
Yeah, give
You,
me a couple extra points off of that marathon.
but Chris, you got the nice 90 from Requiem, and dude, I'm itching
Highest
to
rated
play.
game so far this year.
it's it's dude, it's fun, and I know we're gonna talk a lot about it. I haven't got to beat it yet. I played a bit last weekend. I've been restricting my gaming to just the weekends lately, so now this weekend I got to go ahead and beat it. I know I'll put some time in tomorrow night probably, but just been getting after it with the family, man. It's been fun. This is a pro tip to all the dads out there. You got to get the Bob stroller. Um, I think it's an acronym BOB, but I don't know what it stands for. But just Google it and find it. It's a badass stroller. It has off road tires, and it has shock absorbers on it too, so you can hit the trails. Me and the family been out getting some hikes in, you know. Just this is a little behind the scenes for the podcast, but there's talk of the boys possibly moving down here and getting some warmth in South Carolina where we live. And dude, it's been great. It's been hitting the 70s down here, and we've been getting some hikes in. There it is, the Bob.
We got the Bob stroller live, baby.
Well, that's if you got one baby right there. We've got the 2-seater.
Thing's sick.
It's a little wide, but dude, it's so much fun getting out there. We downloaded this app where you could find all the hiking trails in your area, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
And you see the difficulty, you see like if you could bring dogs, because we bring our dogs and usually try to let them off leash if we can. But man, it's that time of year. It's getting nice outside. But so it's that hard pull. All these badass games are coming out. I gotta play them. I gotta enjoy them, but I feel guilty, you know, because you want to get out there and have some fun outside too. But things have been good. That's all I got.
Now, same on my end, man. The weather's finally making a turn. It was nice and sunny today. I had to work all day. We kind of got into our busy season now, so the weekends are pretty heavy. But same thing. I've been getting the gaming in mostly at night, spending the day with today I got to throw the ball with the dogs for a little while, went for a run. Ended up building this new chair I'm sitting in right before we started here, so that was good. But yeah, just between work, family, wife and I got a date night planned for Saturday. We're actually doing a full date day this Saturday coming up with the dogs. We're gonna go for a few hikes, and then I'm taking her out to a nice dinner. Hope she's not watching right now, so she doesn't know. But you know, just to celebrate, because we've been celebrate getting over such a busy couple weeks. You know, and kind of being two ships in the night. You know what I mean? So, but the good thing with that, you know, the double side of that coin with this being two ships in the night, I didn't feel too guilty about getting into some Resident Evil Requiem that just came out. And last episode, we did a little bit of the reviews, and a little FYI, everyone, we'll apologize for a little bit of our audio issues last time. That's kind of what inspired us to switch to this more live format, which I think just fits us better. We like this better. You know, we don't want to keep jumping around, you know, doing these little cuts. This is what you get. You get us live. That means if we get up, just accept what happens. But like I said, Requiem, we are in full reviews, as Dave alluded to just a few minutes ago. We are sitting at a 90 on Open Critic, which gave me a big fat 20 on my draft, which I cannot be happier about. But boys, with us already getting into the Requiem talk before we jump fully into it, really start picking it apart. Initial gut reactions, Nick. I know you were the earliest in it, you know, just coming off of your trip, getting ready to set up with the family. One sentence, your experience so far in Requiem.
One sentence. Do one word. Fantastic.
Dave?
One sentence would simply right now be, I want to keep playing. That's I mean, but that doesn't quite do it justice, does it? But I guess, I mean, that's my initial thought.
No, that was 3 sentences. Cut his mic.
That's all I get to say, boys. I want to keep playing it.
No, don't you worry. We're about to spend a lot of time in there because I know we've all been having. My turn. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It is that Homelander meme. Perfect.
Real quick, Stan.
3 sentences.
Your mic just went real low. I don't know if you hit a little knob on the back.
Are we good right here? Then you'd be able to look closer to it. We good?
Yeah. Perfect though.
Up too much. I kind of perfect. But and I'll touch in why. And Dave is right. I kind of just did 3 sentences too, but I did perfect 3 times. I think it's perfect, perfect, and perfect.
Yeah.
You boys didn't jump into this, but I jumped into the server slam for Marathon, and I will say, if I can give like a thought on it before we jump into that after Resident Evil, potential will be my word for that. I will say between the two, because it was like a tale of 2 games this weekend. Actually, if you look at Resident Evil, that's a tale of 2 games. We'll get into that between Grace and Leon, but jumping between that and Marathon, was it's a tale of the industry right now. A beautiful, perfect 10 to 15 hour, depending how much time you spend in the game, single player, handcrafted, amazing experience. And again, not to take away from Bungie, they're the best when it comes to first person shooter gameplay. You know, when you pick up a controller and you're playing a Bungie game, you know what it is. You know what I mean? Like any of us could pick up that controller and immediately after that first trigger pull, you're like, oh, this is the Bungie game. And Marathon definitely has that, but it goes like you got this big live service, wanting to get in that comparatively to the single player. And I think we'll kind of jump between the two of those as we discuss throughout the rest of this evening. But potential. And I'm excited for the three of us to jump in together because I think that's when it shines the most. And I'll touch more into that and give you guys my full thoughts a little bit later in the show. So without further ado, boys, we have all jumped into Resident Evil Requiem. I have beaten it. I've completed it yesterday. My time with it, and I'm going to jump in there. You know, we already talked about OpenCritic and Metacritic. They're sitting around that 90 mark. I think it needs to be a little bit higher. A few things I want to touch on, and that's where we'll kind of start this conversation. I want you guys to jump in there, and I think we'll start surface level first, just because Nick is very early on. I think you said you just got to the basement part when we talked offline a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with visuals. Between the hair, the lighting, the attention to detail that even goes into, you know, let's say visuals and audio. A part that made me smile later on in Leon, when you're in the Raccoon City section of the game, you get basically a bolt action rifle. And Dave, I told Nick this offline, a part that made me smile when I realized what was happening. I was kind of picking off zombies from a distance, and I kept hearing like a ding after each gunshot. And I was like, that's the shell from when after the shot hitting the grate behind me and it going like boom, ting, 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 ting. I was like, it was weird because that gave me just the biggest smile. Now there's a moment that we will not ruin because we're on here with Nick and I want him to experience, Dave, and I think you might have already experienced it, but there is a moment where this becomes Devil May Cry and it's just amazing, and that's my favorite part of the game. But just a nice little think about it moment I was just like, dude, man, like this is what I'm talking about. That's just that's love. So yeah, starting with you, Dave, audio and visuals, how are you just, you know, surface level looking in?
Yeah, the that's one of the first things I noticed was the visuals. I know I had texted Nick about it that early in the game there's just like everything's all the objects are very dynamic. Like there's like some empty cans on the ground in the hallway. And when I was playing with Grace and it's first person, and it's almost my flashlight's up at the wall, you know, or like looking down the hallway, but then you kick those cans and then you're like scrambling with the joystick to look and you realize it's just like an empty can. And like I had that moment of just like, oh, this is well done. Like this is some good attention to detail with the sound.
And the true villain of the game we all met in the beginning that scared me more than anything. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. No, the lamp.
Oh,
dude, Crunch was sitting in my lap, my dog, and I jumped so hard it woke him up. He jumped, and we're just like staring at each other. And I was like, I haven't even started this game. I was freaking freaked out from a lamp. This is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
But then I felt like that, even though, I mean, again, you run into a bunch of scary stuff throughout the whole thing, and there's awesome moments, but I was like, nothing compares to the lamp. I was like, that thing will live in infamy forever.
It was funny, dude. Like that's what's fun about these horror games is like you will kind of jump and then be sitting there, a grown man just kind of laughing by yourself in the dark because you're like, oh, they got my ass, you know. But yeah, if we're gonna start with you know, the initial like criticisms and then maybe jump into like what we really finish with what we really loved about it.
Before we head into that, Dave, real quick, I'm sorry. Nick, I want to hear what you felt about those visuals and audios, especially being so early in and getting to the basement, which I think is where that really shines with that lighting and aspect.
Yeah, so I thought the lighting and the visuals were really, really good. And there's something I do want to hit on because, you know, they've talked about, the can moving and stuff like that. I had a similar experience kind of right when you get in there. And, I know we put a short out too, and some people said, well, this is subsurface scattering, or the visuals. RE2 or Red Dead Redemption 2 has great visuals. Look,
Yeah, but
when you get a great game that comes out and they're delivering on all fronts, that's what's important. Like the subsurface scattering in the other games, like I've never had that experience. Like you said, Dave, you're going down a hallway and you kick a can, like it fits perfectly. And when the visuals are so good, the way the flashlight looks, the way the movement is with it, I mean,
Red Dead Redemption 2 had great visuals, don't get me wrong, but th
blows it out of the water.
this is this is up close and personal. It's close quarters in a dark environment. Like Red Dead is open world, riding around on horse. I feel like it's weird that people were trying to compare the two. This is a totally
Yeah.
different style, and it's way newer.
Yeah. And I will
Compared
say, like, oh, sorry. One thing,
no, you
audio
go
and
ahead.
visual, they do really good with this in this setting is the lightning too. As you were going through that first building, the lightning started and then it's like boom, you see it coming through every perfect gap of the window and spread
Mhm.
across the ground. Like it's so easy to immerse yourself in the game. You put on the headset, it looks clean, it sounds clean. The only thing is the Grace's breathing does that is one audio part where it's like, all right, I've heard this, I understand this.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're just like kind of like I said it to you guys. I was like, "Come on, man, you're an FBI agent. Let's get it together." Like it's
Yeah.
like I'm not in her shoes, and maybe if I was thrown into a mental hospital with zombies going everywhere and a giant demon following me, maybe I would probably be like anime
Yeah.
character. But
Oh, of course.
again, you're still like, "Come
I'd
on,
have
man!"
shit
Like
in my pants,
And
but
last
I
last thing
saw
about
I saw
the
it became a meme, like, people were commenting about her breathing and just, like, she's always like, what's that?" It's and it so people definitely noticed the same thing you're talking about, that it started to get a little repetitive.
But what I do appreciate too that they do with the audio is, like, you round a corner and zombie or like the chef or whoever comes into view, like that audio changes. And it could just be for like a zombie that is just a normal zombie, but it gets you in the mode, and Grace
Yeah.
might say like something like, oh shit, and then like
It had,
you
like, an
just feel like
entrance
you're there.
music almost.
Yeah. The music changes and you know, it does a really good job of its audio cues and it just looks amazing. It looks great.
and I go on to get my thoughts on it. The tension it builds. Like when you hear that singing zombie right after you just kind of snuck by the chef,
Oh
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're
gosh.
just like, dude, what
You
is
get
this?
closer to the singing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I
And then
have to walk this route. Is there no alternative?
no, and then you're like looking for like maybe a walk around area, and then you
Yeah,
see
that's what
like
I'm
she
saying.
has like her little like her fan base is there too, and they're all looking for you. So you're like, oh my god, man, like here we go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But and like going like I'm gonna attack it from a couple of views. Like after playing like games like Arc Raiders and Marathon, just the appreciation of how well the audio is in this game. Like when I played as
Mhm.
Leon, especially when you get into more action packed things, I didn't have my headset on. That's why I love PS5 and Nick, hold your tongue. And the controller, it has a speaker built into it, Dave. And so Sherry's things were coming through my controller as I'm playing, and it was kind of cool, like you know what I
Oh,
mean. So it's just that kind of, and a lot of other games do that part too, where they utilize the dual sense for that stuff. But
yeah. I will give PS I don't know if we're about to save this for the next episode or what with these console wars, but I will give PS5 that those controllers are pretty badass. That they
Yeah.
do there's like a bonus features because Xbox, there's nothing that would be so immersive to hear that kind of outside of your headset, like a separate comm.
That's what was so cool. I was like, you just geek out about the little things, you know what I mean? And that's, as gamers, we've been lifelong gamers. Just I love when little things like that get us.
Mm-hmm.
It like just like as silly as from the hair, the blood splatter, the sweat, like you see all these things, and like people comparing it to Red Dead and everything like that. But regardless, like the attention to detail is immaculate, and like you were stating, the short we put out and people explaining those things to us, and like I love being told what it is. It doesn't change like how I feel about it. It's still gorgeous and it looks great. And it's my first real experience seeing that kind of stuff. Um, Going back to the sound design, like hearing the zombies in the background as you're trying to do stuff, and you just hear like the growling. And my two dogs, they started scrapping on the in the guest room, and I was like, I had to lift up my headset. I'm like, is it them? It is them, because I was like, I thought I cleared
Oh
this
yeah.
room, and I'm like, where am I hearing this muffled growling? But so I was like, I'm convinced that they recorded corgis fighting each other as the zombie sounds, but going back to the lighting, and like even if you crank the brightness all the way up, there's no getting around. Like when it's dark in that game, it's dark, and like you got to use that flashlight. And dude, again, going back to the attention to detail, when like you hold the flashlight, how he loads the shotgun when he has the flashlight in, and how he loads another weapon with the flashlight. It's just, I don't know, man. I love that kind of stuff. It's like it's immersive and real, but not too much where it's like a burden. You know what I mean? It's like an appreciation more than
Yeah.
anything. So enough about audio and visual for now, guys. I want to jump in, and this is kind of in the same, like, atmosphere kind of is built by both of those as well. But how do you guys feel currently? Dave, I'll start with you with the story and atmosphere of the game, especially with you getting close to the tail end of it now.
So I'll say this. I know Nick was trying to give us some shit for playing on casual, but I wanted to take it slow and get full, like, I don't know. The way I looked at it, I've got 3 good weekends to try to beat this game. I'm hunting for the achievements. So I've been going slow. I've been picking up all the files. I've been reading everything. And I'm doing it no guides or anything. So that's, it takes some time to clear all the rooms, and so I'm looking through the details and
One of those
everything.
achievements is to beat it on normal.
He's such a bastard.
Yeah, but so he thinks he's clever, but I'll give you the plan right now. For
You're gonna beat it, and then you can do New Game Plus on normal, which is what you should do, Nick. It's called strategy.
Or I could do New Game Plus on the hard difficulty, because what I'm going for right now, boys, this is for the achievement hunters out there. I started off on casual because there's 2 100-point achievements, and one's to complete the game without using a health item, and the other one's to complete the game without collecting any blood as grace, without using the blood collector. So I immediately just put the blood collector into the safe, and then I'm not picking up any health items. So I'm going to go through.
You haven't used the blood collector at all?
I have not.
So you don't even know about any of the crafting?
Well, I can craft. You can craft basic items with just scraps, but
Yeah, a little handgun ammo.
I'm telling you, there's a part you're gonna get to where you're gonna wish you did, dude.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going through on casual, just for those 2 achievements, and then you get the points, and like you were saying, try to unlock some of those other perks, like unlimited, even an unlimited ammo handgun would be so clutch. And then going in, I'll probably go next after I beat this playthrough on casual. I'll go straight for the hardest difficulty, possibly. We'll see, but that's how I'm going to try to run. And then I'll get your normal achievement, like you're talking about. You'll get all the previous ones, but and then I'll so that playthrough on what's it called, Insanity, or you're the only one,
or Nightmare or something. I can't remember, but you're right. I think it's some Insanity or something. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Something, but I was reading online that people were saying it's incredibly hard. So if anyone if anyone listens and actually has beat it, hopefully they could let us know. Otherwise, might have to look up some tips. But I figured getting one of those unlimited ammo guns would help me out. But yeah, that explains what I'm going for right now, how I'm playing through it. So it tells you how slow I'm playing. I'm trying to unlock every single drawer, complete the full map before I even think about like moving on to the next main objective. And so it slowed down my playthrough. But um, the beginning portion, where you're heavily playing as Grace, it's exactly like the RE2 remake. That design where you're just kind of clearing one big house, if you will, one big with multiple floors, and then finding there's a basement or a sewer, and the key from the basement goes up to the fourth floor, so you backtrack. It's like that, just kind of mystery uh experience. And I find that kind of thing so fun. Like I'm the completionist, as you guys know. I like to hunt the achievements and leave no stone unturned. I missed one file and I was pissed. I'm gonna have to go back and figure it out. But I was looking, there's 75 files you have to find, so it's reasonable. It's not like some crazy Ubisoft 500 file hunt. It's like 75, like, and there a lot of them are condensed. Sometimes there's like 3 in the same room, so it's like it's fun, dude. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna take my time. I'll probably beat it this weekend. But yeah, dude, that's us. We're the show that might be a little behind the curve. Some of these guys just did a live stream and beat it in one sitting, but for us, we can slowly chip away and enjoy these games, and I think that might make it better.
Yeah, and I'm on the opposite side of the coin for me, and I appreciate that about you guys. And I also I don't want to give anything away. I will say this: I didn't want to get spoiled, so I went ahead and I took my time and like made sure I cleared maps. I'm mad I missed one bobblehead, and it was at the very beginning of the game.
Oh,
And you can't go back, and I was like, dude. But same thing, dude. Like experiencing it, the story just and I'm not gonna, no spoilers here, guys, but just know this: payoffs, and because you guys did your homework, it's gonna feel, you're gonna get, I'm so excited for you guys to get the payoffs, because like you guys playing RE2 is gonna make this even stronger for you, and that's exciting for me. And
yeah, I see
RE4 was
that
important.
already.
Yeah, RE4 was important, but not nearly as much as RE2 was. I think doing that, you guys like, and for me, like a Resident Evil fan for most of my life, and this one being the first one I've jumped into since 6, it was just fun to be back. And it was like, and it was, I was telling Nick, like for me, that's why I think I was able to beat it so quick. It was like putting on a glove that I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, getting on a bike after, me, oh, I know how to ride this bike. The same thing
Yeah,
you said, going
Yeah.
back to RE2, backtracking, finding the thing. As soon as you get to the puzzle door, I was like, it just put a big smile on my face. Like, yeah, let me go find these quartz. Let's go do this.
yeah,
Yeah.
And slowly work your way to opening in it. And like it harkened back to the RE2 days with doing the strange puzzles inside the instead of RPD. And
I have a quick question, not to cut
oh,
you off.
no, go ahead.
So, how Leon is in RE2, RE4, and this
RE6.
one, and RE6.
Mhm.
So, you said RE4 is important. Is that where you find like how he got this infection? Does that happen in one of those games?
No, the infection started in RE2. So what you learn, and this is it's kind of soft spoilers, but not really, because he says it
Oh, well, well, well.
relatively. Well, no, like you're right there. Like it's just anyone that was in Raccoon City is experiencing that. You might have missed it when she was talking in the beginning. When she's going over that file, it's those are the people that are having that T
Oh,
virus. It's the T virus, and that's what it is.
right.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
And
and
I've
that's
seen
why
that.
it's slowly making them sick. Yeah, that's all it is. And that's not a
Because
spoiler.
he
I mean,
was
it's a
one of the
spoiler
survivors.
if you had. Yeah, it's a spoiler if you haven't played. Yeah, some of the survivors have that, and they're noticing it starting to like, I guess, slowly,
But this is
erode
where it
them.
really showed its face was this game. Like he didn't have this stuff on him in like RE6 or RE4.
No, no, yeah.
Okay.
When I
Okay.
first, yeah, and then you kind of like I put it together when I first saw it. I was like, that's probably like a side effect
Yeah.
of what happened or something, you know what I mean? Or like it just advanced through all the stuff he's been through. And
Yeah.
like I said, you feel it when you play as Leon, talking about the story and like and that's what's exciting. And I've been telling a lot of people that have been asking me about it, like friends and stuff. There, I was like, it's a tale of two games, and that's the best way to say it. Like, it's it's almost like these were two different games when you play as Grace and Leon, especially when you get to Leon's part in Raccoon City and kind of like, and I was telling you, Nick, like it's mostly Grace with sprinkles of Leon, and then the second half of the game is all Leon with sprinkles of Grace. And I feel like, and that's why, and I'll tell everyone, I played the full game in third person, both Grace and Leon. For me, I'm a Resident Evil purist when it comes to that. I don't like it in first person. I know a lot of people do, and I know that Resident Evil Village and 7 were kind of like what brought the franchise back. And they, and I know that people that have played it in first person, you two guys, said it does respect that. For me, with doing it the third person, it like blended even better for me. Like I was like the transitions between the two just felt more natural. And again, I don't feel like it would be any different first person. For me, just personally, that's how I like it. And it was just how they did it was blended so perfectly. You know what I mean? RE6, I don't know if you guys didn't play it. It was like a game of basically everyone had a different campaign. It was just all over the place. It kind of felt like, Leon was more harkened to RE2. I believe Redfield was just basically full action, you know what I mean? But, not we don't have to jump into RE6, but just going back to what I'm saying, like they blended it perfectly. And for me, selfishly, what would make it even better of a game is I just wanted more Leon. You know what I mean? I loved playing as Grace, and I love the attention to detail. I don't know if you guys caught on to this. As you progress more through the game, her aim gets more steady. She's more
Mm.
confident when she holds the knife. She's more steady. She's able to like react better, and like you see that evolve even more. And I'm excited for you guys to see that. But I love too. Yeah, like the
I didn't
stuttering and the
notice too
breathing.
much because I know I'm while playing on casual, the aim assist is absolutely insane, dude. Like those,
Yeah,
uh,
I turned it off. I was like, this isn't fair. Like I was like
dude,
just murking.
I kept it on. I've got
Dirty hogs.
the some of the listeners may know, I got. Well, I mean, all of us have so much going on, but just having the kids at home, two toddlers, a year and a half, it's like I'm playing these games. I want to play it on easy mode, relax, then I'll save the hard mode for later
Well,
on. But
and Dave,
that aim
like
assist is nice at this age. I'll say that.
and I'll tell you, I turned it off for a bit, but turned it back on. I'm gonna be full honest now. You maybe want to be a true guy, especially when I was playing as Leon and like you got that bolt action rifle. You can start picking them guys apart, and it like centers in on them real quick. And I'm like,
Oh,
ooh,
dude, I
that's
had
good.
20 headshots in a row with that sniper
So
because it
good.
just
That sniper's so fun, man. It's so fun.
yeah,
And like Dave, and like I know Nick's giving us a hard time. He's playing on normal, whatever, but it's easy to do that when you've only
yeah.
played one new game this entire year, and the rest of us are putting work in. But it's fine. But so but
Yeah,
and I know I've been going a bit on story and atmosphere, but like I
I've
just
been getting
really think
drafted by
it's
Optic Gaming playing on normal.
it better help him when we're playing marathon. The guy's gonna get sniped immediately. But like, where's your normal
Oh, he
gameplay
probably will
now?
carry us a marathon,
No,
but
I'll carry you because you won't be able to friggin' just instant headshot
Shoot
anything.
without aim sight. I need the aim assist, please.
yeah.
My loadout, no. But Nick, you're the earliest into the game. You're playing the the most purest way. We'll give it to you.
Correct.
So far, story atmosphere, brother. How are you feeling?
I really like the story, and I kind of at first didn't think I'd enjoy playing Grace, but I do. It's fun because it truly is. At the stage I'm at, I've gotten a good dose of both play styles, and one thing that I really like is getting these upgrades because when you play as Grace, it's like every decision matters, especially in normal. But when you play as Grace, you have to you could get killed so easily.
Mhm.
So I kind of really liked that play style, and I did stay in first person initially, and things that I really enjoyed about first person that Village was kind of the same way for me. I didn't like the story too much, I guess you'd say, of Village, though I never finished it all the way through, so that might be an unfair assessment. But
Mhm.
the like I said, dude, like there's that part where you encounter the girl and you have that lighter is your only light. And when you're in first person with the lighter, like it's it feels like you're in a horror movie. Like you have to play through a
Mhm.
horror movie. The rooms are pitch black to the point where like you can't even progress into the room because you can't see. That was before you got the lighter, but you're trying to navigate this area and watching and all these things. And I did swap it to third person with Grace, just for it was the gameplay did not feel as fluid. Like on normal, there's no aim assist at all. So like it was really
Mhm.
difficult in that game to like shoot and to navigate your way, which they're kind of wanting you to do as Grace in first person, is to kind of not know which way you should go and makes it harder. But once I felt like I really got a full dose of the horror of it, then I was like, all right, what do I enjoy play style more? So I did swap to third person. I might do the basement. I might swap back to first person just to see if I get a good scare out of it. But what I was gonna say too with Grace though is like these little upgrades you get. Like I've gotten the steroids and then the stabilizers,
Oh yeah.
and now I'm like, I feel like oh Grace is getting stronger and like,
Did you
I'm
open? Have you opened all the antique coin lockers?
yeah, I got all those. So I'm getting my
Nice.
hip
Okay.
pouches and like that's
Cool.
what I think Resident Evil does so well in all their games. But really, this one it feels like there was a part in RE2, and I don't know if you felt it too, Dave, to where it was like I had so much shit that I was like, all right, like I know I can make it through the next area. Like I'm good. With Grace, it took a while to get to where like I felt like I had sufficient ammo. I had a backup knife. I had some rounds for the Requiem. You know what I mean? Where I was like, all right, if I do encounter something hairy, like I'll be able to hold it together. But they do a really good job of like spacing out how you get this ammo. You got to go get a lockpick and then get the rare metal, and then you can make some more Requiem rounds. And how are you going to use
And that
those rounds?
Requiem is so awesome, isn't it? And like you
Oh,
don't
it's
want to
so
use
good.
it. You don't want to use it till it's like, ah, okay, I have no choice,
I have to. So the first, the funny thing is, when you start with Grace, um, and you have the one round in the Requiem after Leon hands it to you, you go
Which
into the
also,
bath.
like, he hands her like this gun the size of her entire
It's
body and
like this
kills me
big.
every time. She like grabs, like, okay.
Yeah, and where it's like, oh, another thing I liked about it too was like how the zombies all kind of have personalities to a degree. So like the
Mhm.
light
Mhm.
switch guy, like you gotta like you go hit the switch and it kind of moves his character. When you have no ammo and Grace is not that good at defending herself, you're like, you really gotta sneak through this area. But I went into the bathroom, right? Into the lady that was on the mirror. And what I think is so cool how they're doing this is like I could have just walked in and like had an encounter and it would have been scary, yes. But I like saw her movements from outside the door, goes up to the mirror, is like banging on the mirror, and I'm like, all right, what's in this room? Is there might be something better. So I go in the room and I'm going down the stalls. Well, I hear her to where the part where she flips around. So I pack into the last stall. I got the Requiem out where she comes down and like I forgot what she was saying. She's like, clean this spot, clean this spot. And then she just goes clean and turns right at me in the stall that I'm in, and I just blow her head off with the Requiem. because and then I was like, shit, like
I
here I
wasted
am
the good
now.
shot.
I wasted my one round on this lady in the bathroom, and now when am I gonna get ammo or gun? So
Did you get Grace's pistol?
yes, yes.
Good, 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 good.
I I
Oh
I
yeah, it
went
was on
through
that
and
one desk, right?
Mm-hmm. The thing is,
Yeah.
it makes it so much. I like it so much better.
I
Gives
wanted
you that
to
extra bullet.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, once I got my wits about me and I felt like I had plenty of ammo and I had some good, of those permanent increases, I went and I took out the chef as Grace, I killed Chunk, I killed the sisters,
Mm.
I was trying to kinda get, like, all these key players, and also, like, I was like, "I wanna hit all these other areas," kinda like what Dave's doing, like, every item. I did not, like, wanna leave a stone unturned in a room, and I knew how they set up that dang area. I was like, "There's gotta
Mm-hmm.
be something over there." Or actually, what really sparked me to do it was when I read the thing about the safe. There's a safe over there, and I was like, "It's gotta be behind the bar." And
Yeah.
so that's when I kinda went over there, and I found it, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I wish I woulda grabbed this earlier," but it's like, I got it now.
It's funny. I
Mhm.
ran there because I was trying to get away from him, and I went back there, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
awesome!"
nice
You know what I mean?
find.
This is great. Yeah. And then, so you kind of already jumped into what I was going to bring up next, and gameplay mechanics, gunplay feel. First off, for me, I thought every gun felt great. Everything had packed its punch the way you felt like it would. Getting the shotgun with Leon, just
Yeah.
tearing through enemies with that. That thing always comes in clutch, especially when you, of course, with a shotgun, you hit close quarters. It's always the go-to. Um, I don't know if you get you. I know you haven't gotten the Nick, but you get the machine gun with Leon as well, and that's just clean. It feels good. Same thing with that rifle that Dave and I were talking about. Um, enemy design. You were just touching on this. I love. I'm so glad you brought it up with the them having like senses of themselves, like the butcher. Him clean. I call him the butcher because I mean it reminds me of Diablo. But he's sitting there and he's cooking, and he's like, well, trying to cook. It's kind of disgusting, but he's
Yeah.
like, just like same different. And I'm telling you, he sounds just like the butcher from Diablo. I don't care what anyone says. And then the singers, like we talked about them, the Banshee when she screams, and that's just like
Yes.
makes you drop to your knees. I'm like, dude, I gotta take her out immediately. And I love that you can zero in on who's worth taking out, like who you're gonna get something from if you end up killing them. And like there being the special, quote unquote special zombies, but even the normal ones having like the guys that have like the bandages on their eyes, they're just swinging around the I can't think. Oh, the IV holder,
Yeah. Did you
and figuring
see
out
Did you guys get that achievement with the blind guy?
to make him smack the banshee or the singer. I didn't
Well,
get it, but I saw a short on it. It looks pretty
No, I
cool.
didn't either.
not specifically the singer, but you just have to make him kill. Like you throw a glass bottle at
Mm.
another zombie, and he's blind, so he just goes, "What's that noise?" or whatever, and he goes and he kills another zombie. You get an achievement for it. That's a pro
That
tip.
that's pretty sick, but did you see too, if you read these logs, they talk about the experiments about each
Mhm.
one of like, how these special zombies were created, which I love that they had,
Yeah,
like,
I
a
like
little
the
bit of
deep dive.
lore. Yeah. I was like,
There's
And I
one.
"Oh, that's
love
It
why they're
says
like
like
that."
the girl is loose in the tunnels or the basement or however they word it, but it's talking about her and I don't want to get into. I mean, I just gave a spoiler, I guess, but
No, I know who she is, I
the
could tell.
girl is on is down there
She's the
in the
girl
dark.
from the other cell. I haven't got to the
Yeah.
point yet, but I knew it when, 1, the hole was up in the ceiling when you
Yeah.
get Emily out of the cell, and then she's in the same gown, a massive version of it. I
Mhm.
was like, "That's gotta be the
Well
other girl," and the way that she picked her up and, like, put her in the room because I got to the TV screen, I was like, I already kind of assumed that.
and that's the best part. That's how you figure it out. It doesn't tell you, "Hey, the girl is the other girl in the
Yeah,
cell." You know what I mean? That's the best part is like as Dave stated, like you start figuring, and I
all the
love
little
that.
clues,
Yeah, they
like
leave the breadcrumbs
visual
for
thing,
you.
like you said about wearing the same gown, and
Well,
it's
for me, it was the hole in the wall immediately, and I was like, I look at her and I'm like, "Oh, dude." I was like, "I don't wanna let this girl out. What if she turn" you know what I mean? Like, I'm kinda
Right.
scared of her now.
Oh, I knew and if you it's like the little details too, because in the and I don't know what happens to Emily, so please don't say it if she turns into this thing or you gotta
did it
kill her
make
or
you guys think about
whatever happens.
pragmata?
But, the little hole that's in the wall where it's like in the cell of the one that's gone, so
Mhm.
it's like she clawed her way out, and then the next thing is this massive hole. So I was like,
Yeah.
it just all kind of came full circle before I even got to it.
Well, and Dave, to your question about it being like pragmatic, I'm curious because it seems like I a little bit different because I feel like as you're holding Emily, you can't do anything, which is also a nice twist to it where you're like there's no combat, you're just
That's
dodging and weaving these zombies. It's like
where
you're like, oh,
that's where I wanted the third person. Like I was telling you guys, we talked a little before the show. I didn't even I didn't change any settings. I just left. I wanted to play as is. But I prefer games in third person as it is. Even as of lately, like I'll always be a Battlefield fan, but third person shooters, like video games in third person, are just better. I think Um, but I played Grace first person, and it does get so weird when you're carrying Emily because you just to me when you're carrying somebody and you're playing first person, you just become like a walking camera, kind of like it just feels kind of blocky and I just wanted to get that part over with, and I don't know if
It
playing
looked
third
super
person
clean
was
in
it
third
any better?
person. I will
well,
say that part, like, I mean, she like how she was moving when you were walking, or if you'd stop, like it
and
fucking did look. And I swapped to first person during that to see how it would look because I was like, I wonder how this looks in first person carrying her,
mhm.
and I thought the same thing, and I was like, yep, back to third.
So
Well, and that's what's
next
cool. It's
playthrough, I'll do
like
third person for Grace as well.
oh, and that's like what I love is like that. It's like it wasn't a tacked on feature to be able to switch between the visual. They crafted the game so
Mhm.
either way you played it looked good and
Mhm.
felt good. And
Right.
again, like they stated that they wanted phones need to be silenced. Um that's what but no they mess with you a little bit with like
Computer.
that aspect of it that like you were like, I wonder if third person's gonna be less than because they intended for me to play her as first person, but no, like it was a clean experience. Her animations when she's tripping, like it's all that was done for it. So it's like you're not missing anything by playing it the way you want to play it, which I really appreciate.
Except it
And
is
we
less scary. It
it
is.
is less scary. It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's and I for again, like I've told you, I'm not a huge fan of just being jump scared and being scared. So I like having the power fantasy of it. When I
Yeah.
feel like I felt more in control, especially when I was carrying Emily. I did switch to first person. I was like, absolutely not. And
Yeah.
but being able to dodge and weave and plan my course, it's just for me as a gamer and especially as a Resident Evil fan, like that's where I feel at home with it. And then like we touched on gameplay, gunplay, excuse me, gunplay, all the like guns felt great, but resource management, Nick, you kind of brought on this, and that's what I love the most about Resident Evil when it comes to resource management is like you're scouring for everything in the beginning, and then you finally get to the point where you got to start making choices of what to keep and what not to keep. And it's not because I need this. It's like I have so much, I don't really need this. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
love that. Like you got all the ammo in the world, you got everything you need. You still got to be smart with it because it goes quick, but you feel confident, and that's what I love. Like it's a sense of progression without without it being in your face. Like, oh no, I have more ammo. Oh, I can use currency to get more stuff, and that's really cool. Like it goes from the grace increases to Leon's when you get there is like it pays you to actually fight and engage zombies. Like you get points for killing them, and then you can trade in those points to get upgrades for them, which is awesome. It becomes like a whole new game, and that's where
Right.
like it becomes so action oriented and the puzzle design, it speaks for itself. It's so fun. They do such an excellent job with the puzzles and figuring out the safe codes and doing that. Backtracking is what it's built on. It's like the level layouts are beautiful. I love again. I'm a little different than you guys. I beat it and I'm done. Like that's for me. It's a nice consolidated experience for me. I went through it, beat it, uninstalled it. I'll see you next Resident Evil 10 when you come, or Resident Evil 5 remake when you're made. But like I look back and I'm like, what would prevent me from going back and playing? And it's levels like the basement. It's
Oh
little
no.
it is some tedious things. And like yeah, you'll see. Like it's not insane, but it's also like I really don't want to go through that again. What I would love if there was like a mode just to go through Leon through Raccoon City again. That was so much fun. I love the way again, and it follows the same core principles as like the unlocking parts of the map. Everything kind of ties in together. Then there's the backtracking, and then they link into each other. You can find the shortcuts. And again, it doesn't mean I loved Grace as a character, and really like one of my favorite Resident Evil characters at the tail end of the story, and how she like is such a key part of it. You know what I mean? As you find out, as you're probably learning as you're playing, like it's a reason why Mr. Frankenstein decided to steal her. And that guy, and I think he's a sick villain.
Yeah,
Very
they did a
like,
good job.
yeah, like just the way his sense of doom, like even when you like pieced up Leon in the beginning and just like just held him by the throat and was like, that's enough. And just, you know what I mean? Like, that's insane. Just choked him out. And then, like, you know, we didn't even touch on this, and we got to hit it a little bit before we go into like our final thoughts and last little bits. But Leon, dude, the king of the one-liners, dude. Like, I just freaking love this dude, man. And the joke everyone was saying about Leon, too, especially in the Raccoon City parts, like, it goes from Resident Evil to Resident May Cry, like a Devil May Cry game, and it is, and he's still hitting the one-liners and all these different. I'm telling you, there's a part I don't know if Dave has done it yet, but there's a part in this thing where you're just like, is this happening right now? This is amazing.
Really?
And it's the same thing, dude. He's just cracking the one-liners as it's all happening, and it's like he's like your typical 80s action hero, and like when the guys, he's like in a death situation, and he's like breathes down. He's like, any questions? He's like, yeah. When's the last time you brushed your teeth? And I was like, dude, like, he just sliced your throat, dude. Like,
that one part too. That the one liner cracked me up. It's like I'm like, you're waiting for that door to open to get up to Victor's office, and you're just like fighting off like these crazy zombies. Their heads are turning into these cretins, and then you kill them all. He's like, got my exercise for the morning.
Just covered in blood and like,
I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it gets you like the amped up. It's just he's awesome to play, man. And again, it's good because like I feel like nothing ever overstays its welcome. That's what the game does really well.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, as soon as I'm like, oh, dude, I'm kind of burnt out on this Grace thing, boom, I'm roundhouse kicking zombies. You know, and that's and I love that there's a speed run. Like people are beating the game in 3.5 hours.
That's
how they do it. So it's like you can, if you really like hunker down and do it, and that's one of the achievements, you got to beat it in under 4 hours. So Dave, I'm gonna see that when you're done. But
yeah, I guess if you were just to, and this is just my before the, I just got to the basement, but if I think about the mental hospital, like if I just ran to get the first 2 quarts, like and then grab Emily, like it probably would have been super fast. Like I wouldn't have had a whole lot of resources, but if you just dodged everything, were real smart about the routes you took and avoided a lot of the enemies, you probably could just fly through it.
Well, yeah, I looked Resident Evil games. I was just gonna say with Resident Evil, like me and Chris were talking about, you get upgraded weapon. Like you could do a playthrough on casual with unlimited ammo, and just there's things you can do to make it even quicker too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I saw like someone did a breakdown. They beat like Grace's first section in 45 minutes. And I'm like, dude, that's so crazy. Like,
that's
people are just hunkering down and going after it.
But once you learn the path, most of us playing, like we're talking about, like I'm shining my flashlight at every little dresser to see if it opens, but if I'm just running down the hallway, it could be pretty quick. It's not that large of a building.
And that's what I guess was fun. Like it's the power fantasy aspect. I've experienced everything already. Now I'm just trying to destroy the game and destroy, and especially punish those that have punished me in my first playthrough. And just, if you have unlimited Requiem shots, just lighten the girl up every time I see her, just for fun. Like I'm throwing the cans to make her come out, just launch a Requiem shot at her for all the times like when you first encounter her. It's terrifying, dude. Slings the card at you. I'm just like, dude.
I know. I was underneath that little table in that room, just like watching her freaking sniff.
I know with the lighter. It's like, before we go into like our kind of close out on Resident Evil, boys, do you guys have anything that you've run into that you feel like any negatives, basically. Like that's what I'm trying to get at. For me personally, I just anything I may have had an issue with, I feel like the good outweighed it. And like I said, in I think my things I want are just more of fun. Like I just want more of these things, like more Leon, like just being real with you, like that more action paced stuff. Like I love it's like it's almost like a payoff. Like you paid your dues, you got through the hospital terrified and getting through these things, but also building up this character in Grace. And it's almost like but it's hard because like I feel like the ending ends it perfectly, and I think you guys will feel the same way too. Of like it ends it perfectly in the sense that like it ends it right when you're like, okay, that was good. I'm satisfied, I'm full, but just wanting a little bit more in certain sections. You know what I mean? Like that's basically where I'm at. I don't know, Nick. I know you're very early. Anything so far that you've kind of noticed?
Be honest, dude. No, like for me, the telltale sign with something is if I'm just like, oh, why is this like this or this mechanic or this is frustrating, and there's nothing so far in this game that didn't make sense or that I was like, have I just really, really have enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I thought that I might have really not enjoyed Grace's part of it, but want like I'm excited to hop into either character, and like I love the differences between both. So it's like they do a good job though of like it's like I get into like Grace's and like right when I'm like, all right, it would be fun to play some Leon, it swaps over to that. And then when I'm
Yeah.
going through as Leon and you're just like so OP'd, it's like, all right, now I want to get a little test of, something a little bit more hairy and a little bit more difficult. Boom, I go back to Grace. And it's just like it's such a perfect counterbalance of itself. And at least to where I'm at, like it's just, you know, I'm excited. I liked too to like I killed a lot of stuff with Grace just as I was going through, but like, you're really tested in that insane asylum from going from like nothing to at least having like a decent loadout as Grace. And then when you're Leon, you're like, it's it's like way like easier. Those going through those, I'm just like in a slow sprint going through as Leon, like, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
care what's gonna come
you're
out
not
at me.
worried.
You're
Yeah.
actually you're wanting zombies to run in your way. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I got a hatchet for you.
So it's
And
really cool, I think, to navigate both sides of that, like that map itself. So I
mhm.
would say I'd like to see that more, maybe not like backtracking through everything, but I think it's really cool that when I was Leon and I was like going through and I was thinking, I was like, I wonder what he's thinking. The chef's dead in the hallway. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm wondering if he's thinking like, man, Grace took out the chef, or just shit like that, where
Mhm.
it's like you're seeing what your other character just did and the remnants. They just do it so well.
And just so you guys know, just before I pass on to you, Dave, Resident Evil 2, the original, when you did both campaigns, what you did in the first one reflected what you did in the second playthrough. So that's kind of what the
Mm.
remake changed. So when you play the second one, none of what you did, like the zombies you killed and stuff, remained. So it was kind of like a change that a lot of people didn't like about the remake when it came to RE2. Just a thought there. So I'm glad they kind of kept that the tradition in Requiem, because like you said, it adds that experience to it. Because also like you run through with Leon, and if you were, you killed everything with Grace, you're like, what? There's nothing. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right. I had like
one
one or two I had to kill.
well, one last thing before Dave, I just remembered it. I do love that if you don't, you got to make sure you're paying attention to these zombies, because like you might have thinking you've taken one out and then it'll grab your ankle or something along
Hmm.
those lines, and you got to finish them off. And I just thought that was a great part.
To
Dave, for
finish your
you, any?
point,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry. Go ahead.
what you said about that, things being dead as after you come back through. I personally like that because to me that's immersion. Like that has just happened. I want to make, I
Yeah,
put
you don't
in the
want the
work for that.
bodies to disappear,
Yeah, or they disappear or they like respawn. Then I'd
especially
be
in a
like,
single player game.
yeah, I'd be like, what the heck? That's like, And some people may think it's like foolish or whatever the case, but like when I played Daggerfall or some of these other games, older games or old RPGs, like if I go and clear a cave and I need to go back to get something, like everything should still be dead, right? It's a single player game. I'm not going to it's not a live service where I need to like stay in it and keep doing the same cave or the same area over and over again. If I put in the time and cleared it, the immersion to me is it should be cleared.
Right.
No,
But that's all I
absolutely, and
have to
that's what I
say.
appreciated. No, I think that was a really great point. And that's where like I didn't want to say it when you guys were playing the remake because I had heard that criticism before, and you know what? It didn't even come to mind. I'm lying to you guys when y'all talked about RE2, but it came to mind immediately when I went through as Leon. I was like, hey, everything I did as Grace is still here, and again, it adds that immersion to it. Dave, for you, anything you've run into, any concerns, complaints, anything you've read online that you kind of don't agree with either?
Well, you know, when you're out, when you first go out into the city and you're walking down that street, and I think you guys probably had this moment to know other people because I saw some posts about it on the internet where
Well, I haven't
people,
gone out in the street yet. Oh, you mean the initial scene?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Look, he got amped up. Did you see that, Dave?
I don't want any spoilers, man.
yeah, when
Sorry, brother.
when you're just walking down the sidewalk, it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
early
yeah.
on. It's pretty early on in the game.
Well, I gotta say something, Dave. Too. This guy gets mad about that. He didn't even listen to the initial part of the story because he's asking about the T virus. Anyways, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
But
He's like, what's that black stuff? Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I knew what it was. I was just curious if it was in the previous games. Fucker.
I just this
Take us
is
back
me
to the
really
street.
this is me really getting nitpicky, I guess. But when you're walking on, I don't know if you guys noticed this. There's a guy. So people were talking about a guy that walks by you initially, and you're thinking like he's wearing the top hat, like Mr. X. Did you guys notice that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see him again immediately because it's like they
And
use
then
the
like
same
4 of them.
assets. Yeah.
Because everybody's got
Yeah.
the same outfit.
That's gonna be my critique is like this, they couldn't have had 5 minutes of different people coming, because that was a point in the game where I also I happened to stop at that point too. I paused, I went to grab a drink or something, and then like I come back, I was texting on my phone or something, so I just keep seeing these people walking by, and it just repeats the same, and I was just kind of disappointed, I gotta say, for a game of 2020. We're about to see Grand Theft Auto. I know it's a totally different kind of game, but you're gonna be able to drive through the city and not see the same person once, like for this game. I was like, come on, you can't do 5 minutes of different people coming down the street, like, maybe then you will see the same guy after 5 minutes, but it was like the same five.
Like character models. It was. And you're right. And
Yeah,
like it'd be one thing if this was a huge open world game, but you're right. It's a tight experience, one street. Yeah, it's a little egregious. I agree with you.
but that's the
It,
thing.
it almost sort of
The open
it,
world games will go above and beyond where you're not going to see in Red Dead Redemption. You don't see the same guy in the town twice. Like, but I was like, so it's such a narrow. It seemed like it wouldn't be that hard to do. It's just
yeah.
put
Well, it almost
150 people on the sidewalk. Like, why is it just 5 coming down?
It almost would have been better if that guy didn't bump into you, because he bumps into you, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's something going on with that guy. And then
Right.
you get into it, and then like a different guy that I thought was that guy ran up and started a conversation. I'm like, this guy just bumped into me. Then I saw another of them coming down. I'm like, I was like, oh, it's a bunch of these guys.
Oh, you're
Right.
right. Even when you're as Grace, you run into that guy like 4 times.
Yeah.
It was like, why did they put so much effort and detail into other things, but then out there, and I know I have still more of the game to play, so, but yeah, that was it. It was just kind of like, Is it like? Did you run out of time? Did you like? Is it just not important? Maybe it's not important. It doesn't matter. But
So for me, I got one last question for you guys before I give my official rating of the game because I did finish it. And I gotta say, guys, I gotta go on the executive decision here, and I want to see if y'all are on board. I think we should switch from like 90-80 and do like 1 through 10 and do like 0.5s. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm getting a little convoluted with my like 88 to 89.
Right.
So with that, quick correction: Dragon Quest 8, Mio 6.5. I'm just kidding. Now Mio was really great. Mio's a 7.5, a 7.5, and Dragon Quest 8. All right, so back to what we're doing. My last question for you guys before I give my official rating and last final thought for Resident Evil Requiem. What you've played so far, where you're at right now, day one, wait for a sale, or does this have your game of the year contender right now?
For me, it's game of the year all the way right now.
And you are not even all like probably 25%, if that, through the
Yeah.
games. That's
Well, the
awesome.
only
to
other
hear.
game I've played this year is 76, so it's an easy choice.
Diablo 2. This guy's
Oh,
only
yeah.
played games from the 90s before today.
Yeah, the game from the 90s. So, yeah, Resident Evil's definitely no, but I think even with that, it would be my game of the year from what I saw of the other games.
Mhm. Dave?
I mean, this early, we're just
Well, as of right now, it could change.
yeah, like the end of month 2, it's the best that's dropped so far. But I guess it probably will be at the end of the year. It'll probably be, what do they pick? 5 games to get votes for the game of the year. Like it'll probably be like a contender. But, of course, with GTA and now that we got the release date for Wolverine, there's Soros coming, there's still supposed to be Gears of War E-Day. Like it'll be tough competition for what actually gets the game of the year. But I think that Requiem will be up on the ballot, like it will be competing with these big titles. There's just so many. But yeah, dude, it's an awesome game.
Day one or wait for a sale for you? What are you thinking? Day one purchase for everybody that's
If you're
anyone that
tight on
listens?
cash, wait for a sale. It's $70. It is a big, what we see in gaming these days. Things go to Game Pass, things go on sale. So if you can only buy a few games this year, wait for a sale. But otherwise, if you got the cash, go buy it and play it. It's fun.
For me, I will say it's definitely, and I'll bet anyone on this on this show that it will be one of the contenders for game of the year, no matter what else comes out. I know we got Fable, you got Grand Theft Auto, Wolverine, you named all the rest of them, but I
Yeah, I
think
didn't even say Fable and
what
Forza.
it accomplished it's something that should be monitored by the rest of the industry. What they're doing, and again, like we have Crimson Desert that's right around the corner. We'll see what that pulls out of the hat.
Yeah.
Again, this is a stacked year for games, and again, maybe I'm just there's recency bias, there's all those things, but this is just it
Sure.
was just even from last year. This is one of the best games I've played in a while. It's right up there with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Expedition 33 that I played recently. This game just a fantastic game, and for me it is a solid 9, and that's where I leave it. It's a solid 9. It's a fantastic video game, and it's just something everyone should experience. I think it's a day one purchase. If you are tight on cash and you can only buy one game right now, this one, because to your point, you can buy this, you can replay it. It rewards you for replaying it. There's reasons to do it. You master the game. It's worth every penny, even if it's a 10-hour experience, if you go right through it. So,
Well, I was gonna say I was looking at True Achievement. It's a site I go on with a lot of achievement hunting, and they put it as 25 to 30 hours if you're gonna get all the trophies or get all the achievements. So
that's awesome.
You can get a lot out of this, and there's supposed to be maybe DLCs coming. Have we heard anything about that, or maybe not?
I would imagine they'll probably it's hit the zeitgeist. I think, and Nick, if you could check this for me real quick, I'm pretty sure it's topped the sales chart. It even overtook Call of Duty Like this game is
Oh yeah,
killing right now. So it's like
it hit
I feel
5 million copies in 5 days.
you know what I mean?
It's
It's like I feel
insane.
like you capitalize on that. You know what I mean? Like just add something that doesn't really take away from the story, just something fun like the mercenary mode, like run through there, like you guys were telling about with RE2. Something along
Yeah,
those lines. But
a different character.
as Nick looks that up, before that, do you guys have any final thoughts on Resident Evil before we move on?
Um, it's it's fun. It's addicting. I think this will be the first game this year that I max out. I'm going for that 1,000 out of 1,000 gamer score. And if they do drop some DLC packs, I'll be interested. You know, it's a busy year, but we'll throw them in the backlog because I would come back to this if they release some extra content.
Oh, I'm right there with you 100%. I'm excited, Dave, when you finally get PlayStation and get platinum trophies. They're so much cooler than the gamer score.
So I will say it's got 5 million sales. Very tops of the list in games, which we don't have to get into, but Monster Hunters, those two, 22 million. But what's crazy is number 3 and 4 are Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 7, which both have had 16 million in sales.
Damn, people were getting excited for it and doing their like you guys did. You guys did your homework. I'm proud of you. And
Yeah.
it got me and you guys giving me your review of Resident Evil 2. It impacted so much in Resident Evil Requiem, and I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's enough for final Resident Evil. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week too, as these two wrap up their game, their experience with it, and see the ending. And I would love eventually to do like a spoiler segment. We'll make sure we make that very clear because I really want to dive into that with you guys, into those
Oh,
cool moments.
everybody
Um,
should finish well before us. So I think we'll be safe when we get to hopefully, you know.
Right. We'll still give a little, you know how it is. People get mad if you give spoilers from a game that's 25 years old. So,
Right.
but Capcom, they did it again, and Resident Evil solidifies itself as one of the top franchises in gaming again. But yeah, like I said, one franchise feels locked in. The other is a company we all truly love and had our attest a lot of our gaming love with is Bungie. And it's no secret to anyone that they've come on, you know, kind of hitting a rough patch and a lot of stuff has happened. But this past weekend and as of today, we're live right now and the game has gone live at 1 p.m. our time. Marathon had its server test and I jumped in the server slam, excuse me. I jumped into that this weekend. You know, I had two co-hosts that I do a show with called Grind and Game. They were supposed to jump in with me, but they're both dirty rats and they didn't show up. But I still love them and it's okay. But I didn't hold a grudge at all. I just went to the gym and cried in the sauna. But
We failed you.
yeah, I was hoping that I would get like the Gandalf moment. You guys would show up and give me the speech that a wizard's never late. He's always shows when he's needed, but that didn't happen. And my brother went on a bourbon tour instead. And he sent me pictures of an egg salad sandwich that looked like enchiladas, looked delicious. I don't even know what I was looking at. But anyways, going back to Marathon. I will say it when you guys jump in and we all jump in together, you need to jump in and do like the tutorial.
Mhm.
It's a lot at first. And what you notice, when I noticed, especially like I was jumping between different people's like Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx and Peanut and looking at all their like looking at their chats too as well and seeing like the negative sentiment that people already kind of had for the game. And what I noticed though, as the weekend progressed, and yeah, the game, like the players dropped off, stuff like that, because there is a skill to it. It's not like as I don't want to call Arc Raiders casual, but it has a better like onboarding, I would say. And you know, shocker to anyone, Bungie has a bad onboarding process. Anyone that's played Destiny or Destiny 2, but it's a lot all at once, but as you learn the game, as you understand the game, it gets better and you understand what you're playing. And they're very, very gracious with free loadouts. It's different game styles. It's like I said, there's the medic, there's the destroyer, the rogue, the thief, assassin, excuse me. The rook character is basically a free loadout, but only a solo queue available. Like you can only go solo with the rook, and you get dropped into an ongoing raid where like there could be trios, there could be solos, there could be a bunch of different people in that raid, and you're creeping around trying to get a bunch of good stuff. And so it has the different things like that. So going back to what I was initially saying is I saw the sentiment start to change as the server slam continued, as people learned the game, started to understand the game. I feel like I get where people are coming from, that it's a lot to take in. I don't understand what this does. I don't understand what this does. But I'm like, yeah, you're just starting a new game. You're not going to know what everything is immediately and understand what everything is. And again, like, I'm not saying you need to love the game, but like, give it a fighting chance and learn it if you want to know. But I think a lot of people went into this wanting to hate it. They want it to be Concord 3. And again, we might eat our words, because I don't know if you guys saw Highguard just shut down officially, or it shuts down in like the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And like, people are hating on that. We kind of defended it because we had a little bit of fun with it. But like, I see a lot here, especially with Bungie. I am curious to see when sales drops, when reviews actually start coming out. I see a lot of like pending reviews on both Open and Metacritic. But the game, like, talking about, let's hit some positives real quick before I continue, and then I'll open it up to you guys to throw a bunch of questions my way. But gameplay, gunplay feels fantastic. I wish there was more of it. I do feel like it's a little bit, I do feel like the PvE is a little difficult. Like, those enemies their melee is way too strong. I'll see if they adjusted it in the full release, but killing them actually feels good. Like, you want to go fight them and you get some loot off of them and stuff like that. Running into other teams, if you get the jump on it, as in any shooter, you got the advantage, and you'll probably end up winning if you play it right. And that's the best part. Like, when we all play together, it's about working together and utilizing what builds we do. Like, if I'm the destroyer, I'm the tank. If Nick's playing thief or you're playing assassin, you know what I mean? You playing your roles, or the medic, and like, you can do like a distance defib. So like, you can be on like, me and you could be behind cover on opposite sides trying to take out a team. They get me, and you can shoot your defib that way and bring me back up as like one of your ultimates. So it's a lot of working together. But again, there's a difficulty curve to it. It's not easy. You got to learn it. You got to be good at shooters. You got to be smart. It's not like Arc Raiders where you can corner peek in third person. It's it's your traditional first person extraction shooter, and it has like the hero-esque abilities, like, not like Overwatch, but like kind of like Destiny in a sense, where like each character is significantly different. They feel different. People were getting upset that I saw about like there being a stamina meter, like when you run around, like you get tired and stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of part of the course, especially with these extraction shooters, from what I understand. So I mean, like, I don't know if people are just looking for things to not like about it. I had fun. I ran a couple raids. It still is that risk reward situation. I think what they're doing well when the full release which is out now, they're doing like ranked, so you have to have like a certain gear score to go in there. So I feel like that's where a lot of like the sweaties and ones that really want to be competitive in it will go. So that kind of leaves the rest of us to want to like do regular matches or unranked, basically. But it like builds to something. Like, eventually the map for the marathon ship, the cryo chamber, opens, and it's more of a raid. So you got teams working together and working against each other to try to conquer a raid, which I think is awesome. So adding a really strong PvE element. And where you guys didn't really fall in love with Arc Raiders like I did, this I really truly feel is more your speed, like playing off the battlefields, the Call of Duties, which you guys are, Halos, where we kind of built our merit. I feel like this is more our speed. It's tactical first person shooting with an extraction shooter in there as well. I think I played solos. I preferred the squad, even playing with randos. And people want, going to what made Arc Raider so special, what made it like I think top the zeitgeist was those proximity chat experiences, right? People have these random moments, even us. So we were screaming Lord of the Rings references to people as we were defending that tower. What I noticed in Marathon, your squad would talk, but prox wasn't really it. It's mostly shoot on sight when you see another team, which I know is like Nick's kind of style, which is why you'll shine. Like, there's no friends in Marathon. It's like, like we like we were a trio. We ran into a rook, and usually it's supposed to be nice. We didn't even try to talk. It was me. He was like, "Oh, thanks, guys," and just stabbed him. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're in there for each other. We're getting there. We're getting loot. We're killing. We're getting out. And then the cool thing is like bounties will pop up and you could do quests as you're doing stuff, and random like high value targets will pop up that aren't players. Like you can go fight like different like PvE elements and work together on that. And then you can kind of, and so like also you'll get like a notification like, hey, high value loot has been dropped, and you can go in there and try to decode it while you're fighting off people. And you know what that means? That's usually a moth to the flame. Everyone's showing up there, so you can kind of, if you get there first, kind of prep for that and kind of lay a trap, which is kind of sick. And then like I said, each player, like each character has like its strengths. Like the assassin can disappear, and it's not like your normal disappear like Halo. You cannot see this person when they disappear. You have to be like ready. So it's like, but then there's another character that can track everyone, and they can track that assassin. So it's like playing off those different strengths. It's like, oh, how are we going to do our team build this time? You know, like, Nick, are you gonna, you want to run the medic? I'll run the destroyer. Dave, you run the
How many
tracker.
different
So
options?
I believe there's six shells in total. So like I think it's destroyer and Nick. I don't know if you want to pull this up for us, Nick. I believe it's thief, destroyer, assassin, medic, and rook. I might be missing one, but yeah, you get a couple choices there, so it's fun. It played great. I didn't run into any technical issues at all. I was able to jump into matches, no problem at all. Everything ran smooth, didn't have any lag, nothing like that. Yeah, so I know I kind of jumped around, jumped a bunch of different areas there. Like I said, I only played the server slam. I did buy it. I am looking forward to playing it and hopefully jumping in with you guys, if not tonight, tomorrow. But I have it, and I'm excited to jump in full and kind of give better thoughts next week. But that's my early thoughts so far. So I'm rooting for this to be successful. I really am. I know a lot of people aren't, but I love Bungie, even if like they've run on hard times. I don't want to see them go away. I know it's not the Bungie we remember, but if they can rebuild themselves, build this up, this is successful for them and PlayStation, and then we get like an amazing Destiny 3. Like if you get a good extraction shooter for the price, then you get Destiny 3, which I am excited. I would love to jump into it, like a fresh Destiny. Like two's too far. You know what I mean? Two's too far gone for me to want to go in anymore. But yeah, boys, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna let you guys ask me a few questions, and I'll kind of close it out. But Nick, you got anything for me? I know you've been doing some research. I know it's your counter pick, so there is a deep part of your evil little heart that wants it to fail. But how you feeling right now? Or what questions do you have for me? Not what are you feeling? I know what you're feeling because you're a monster. But
no, I guess the one thing, which all of that sounds interesting. It sounds like it's going to be a very engaging game. I guess everybody's biggest gripe was the UI. Did you see any issues with that?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing it up. Yes, the UI is entirely too cluttered. It goes back to like getting used to it. I felt like it was a little much, but after you kind of get the hang of it, it's okay. But yeah, I totally agree with that. That you're like, what the hell is this? What is this? It goes, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it's not like a game like Resident Evil where you can take your time, you find something, you read it, you look over it, you understand what it is. No, it's like you're like in a rush, like, you know, like we're trying to get in, get out. So it's like kind of doing that extra research once you get back to base and looking at those things and understanding them.
The good
So
thing
maybe
is
it
with
go
the
ahead, sir.
UI though, I was going to say the good thing is like that's a very easy fix in a game. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a core mechanic that people can't stand. It's just the interface.
And I say this too, like, yeah, it could probably bother you, but like it was not a deal breaker for me. Like, and we've seen horrible UI. And granted, I think Destiny 2's UI is terrible. When you don't haven't been in there in a minute, you jump in, you're like, what the hell do I even do right now? Remember when me and you went back in for I don't want to say Wrath of the Lich King, but it's it's the Witch Queen. I can't remember what the name of the.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
But we jump back in, and you're like, dude, I don't even know where to start. You know, there's just like icons everywhere like that. So I always felt like that's been an issue for Bungie, and this is not different. It's a lot of like, and there's lore. You can like read lore logs. There's companies that hire you, so you can just. And Nick, you're gonna love this. Being a Bethesda guy, you get to choose different factions, what faction you want to be a part of, and as you work for that faction, you unlock perks and skins associated with said faction.
That's pretty cool.
So I think there's so much there. And again, we'll see how they try to do with monetization because we know how Destiny 2 was with that stuff. But it's really going to be if obviously the streamers and the internet will decide. Let's be real. If they truly fall in love with this game, people are liking it and like don't want to just crush it because I mean there is controversy. They had that whole art controversy where they stole assets, but apparently they settled with that person and now everything's all golden. But yeah. So any other questions? Yeah. So on the UI, I do agree that is a problem, but it's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, nothing else right now, man. I'm excited to get into it and get hands on myself and just get a feel for it. But it sounds like it has the potential to be really good, which I hope it is. Like I said, it is my counter pick. So the small part of me for the, for the I can't even think of the name of it. The league, the fantasy draft. Uh I want to say wanted it to fail, but didn't want it to also be blown out of the water. I just need them to have a rocky enough start to get you a low score, and then they fix the game to where it's great.
And yeah, the score switches to a 90 next year when it doesn't matter for me.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
need.
Dave, before I pass questions to you, I do want to touch. I didn't even, just kind of jumping around there, but like the world itself, I think it's a really cool, mysterious world. Like a lot of people don't like all the colors and the purple blood and stuff. I think it's cool. I think it's a nice little change of pace. It's so different. You know what I mean? Like at first, when I first saw them announce this game, I was not a fan of it. But they like the darker, grittier tone they gave it after the feedback. I really enjoy. I think it has its own distinct visual identity. Now, when you see it, you know what it is. Like, oh, that's Marathon, and I think that's important. Um, the maps are tight. I feel like they leave a little bit more. I feel like you could probably do a little bit more with some maps. I think additional maps will help, but they're living maps, so things happen. Like events start happening, live events. Like a giant prison ship will show up on top of one of the maps and start like putting a grid around there. And if you're stuck within the grid, you can't get out, and the PVE things start falling like crazy. And you kind of to survive the onslaught all while not knowing what players are in there with you too. So it adds a lot to it. But yeah, Dave, any questions that you've been seeing or any of the zeitgeist or any of the not zeitgeist, what am I trying to say? Any of the discourse that's been happening around the game so far?
Well, I'm curious. You talked about being a little bit of a learning curve to the game, or just a lot to figure out. That can be the classic Bungie style, and I mean that's been the case going back to Halo. That's always been, the more casual gamer could pick up Call of Duty and be like, oh, I shoot this AK-47. It's very simple, but then you pick up Halo and it's, oh, you got to use this plasma weapon to take down their shield, and then now they're one shot. What does one shot mean? And that, oh, that's, one shot with a pistol to the head will finish them, or meleeing in the back, and then we saw that with Destiny as well, the different kind of energy weapons, or different elemental weapons that could do different damage to shields. Or so is where do we see that with Marathon? Is that what kind of learning curve is there with the different kinds of weapons and like shield types, or does that apply? I guess kind of
It
speak
does.
on that.
Yeah, it does actually. Thank you for bringing that up because yeah, there's different weapons, different ammos. There's heavy, light. There's energy clips that are better for shields. So you could take a shield down with the energy clip, switch over to a ballistic weapon, and so yeah, it kind of follows that same
Yeah,
category,
that's
which I
classic
love. And
Bungie.
I love the energy weapons, and they like run on batteries, so you kind of figure that out quickly. Okay, so I need I'm going to take 6 batteries with me, and so what a battery is basically, for what I've seen, like 100 rounds, and as you and if like or
Oh,
maybe 50 rounds, and as you shoot it, right, if you decide to reload at after like we always do when we're playing like a shooter, even if you fire like 3 shots, you'll reload immediately. The battery, you have to be careful because it resets a new battery. So
oh,
you
so
got to
you
be
want to
smart.
empty that battery.
Exactly, as close as you can where you feel comfortable to be able to reload and keep going. But they're strong weapons, but they have like that double-edged sword aspect to them, which I really appreciate. The fights are fast, so it's like you're in there, you're fighting, you're running around, you're trying to trying to be in some tactics, but it really is like your typical like Halo arena shooter when you get like tied in. Like some people have better shields if they, like depends on what loadout you go in. What's the
Yeah.
risk and reward? Like if you're going in there and you're feeling good and you know you're gonna slaughter, but then it's gonna happen. You're gonna get pissed, but that's part of these kind of games. But the best part is, like, Nick, let's say we go in, we three of us go in, we have 3 bad runs. We're like, okay, well, they just give you free loadouts that are like Arc Raiders, but like better. Like you get like a decent weapon, you can hold your own with a free loadout, which I
Okay.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Or if you have a little bit of coin, you can get like a blue free loadout, which has a little bit of better stuff in it. You know what I mean? So it gives you like
Yeah,
different
that's kinda
options of
nice.
loadouts. Yeah.
At least
So
you could put some damage on people.
if you and again, like you get the jump on someone and you're good enough at a shooter, you're gonna get them. You know what I mean? And then the melee's nasty. It has the same Battlefield thing where you run faster with the knife, which got me, playing Red Sec with you boys got me used to doing that. So you see people sprinting around with knives, and another thing, like you get upgrades to your stuff. So I love that we are just talking about because it reminds me of stuff. So you get you can get a backpack, obviously, it opens inventory space. You get mods that go into your shell that changes gameplay. Like you run faster when you use a knife, or you jump higher. Like you get those different things that you find pieces. The weapons can get modded as well, kind of like Arc Raiders, and you find that in the world. You're doing it in real time. You're kind of reading it, and it kind of adds that spot. And then again, like before we jump into one, we're like, hey man, we all feeling it. We guys all want to jump in, and then what I love about it, it tells you how much your loadout is before you go out. So it's like, oh, your loadout's worth 1,000 credits, just so you know, before you leave, or it's worth 2,000 credits. So the 3 of us can be like, hey boys, let's at least have each of us, and we can see each other's as a crew. Let's at least have like $1,000 worth of loadout here before we go in. So we're, if we all lose, we're all feeling like relatively around the same. Like, shit, you know what I mean? But
it's a shared loss. Like we're all we know it's going to be a more serious run.
And it'll tell you how much you lost from the stuff you looted. So it kind of like gets you even angrier sometimes. You're like, oh, I lost $3,000. Thanks. You know what I mean? But it wasn't mine to begin with. But and that's where like going into these, and I think it's a little more
as if I wasn't put down enough in real life.
And it's like, I think it's easier to digest in this kind of game. And I think they should have. I mean, Arc Raiders is what I think made me want to play this game. So they should be thanking Arc Raiders. I got tired of Arc Raiders. Now I want to play this one, but I love that gameplay loop. But what I think that what I think is better than Arc Raiders is the shooting and the aggression. Like people want to fight each other. And I think that's important, especially for a Bungie game. Like, you know what I mean? Like you want to engage in PvE, but also PvP. And then you understand that. So it plays like a horror game sometimes when you're by yourself, because you're like, dude, I got a lot of good shit and I don't want anyone to find me. And they're not going to be like, hey, buddy. No. They're going to light you up. I was a rook, and I had like a couple gold things I found, and I was right at the extraction point. It was surrounded by actual PvE enemies. And with the rook, which is cool with them, is they have an ability where they blend into the enemy, so the enemies won't attack you. And so I started it, I ran back, I'm waiting for the extraction to queue up, and a team shows up, and I'm like, hey, I'm a rook. And I jump up, he sniped me out of the air. Like it wasn't even a conversation, dude. And I said, I talked some smack on the chat, and they stopped and they looked at me, and then they all proceeded to do the traditional Halo thing to me. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Any other questions, boys?
No, I think I'm just ready to hop in and do a test drive on it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should start downloading.
I got to download. We got time. Are we downloading tonight? Playing tomorrow? What's the plan?
I think I want to play tonight, but I know it's getting close to bedtime. It's be 10 o'clock. You told me you want to get bed by 10, but if not, download tonight. Let's jump in tomorrow for sure.
We'll see what happens. I'll see if I can get it downloaded quickly tonight.
If y'all can get it downloaded, my suggestion for bed, if we don't want to jump in together, is just get through that tutorial just to get your feet wet and understand it. And again, we'll learn it together as we go, and I think it'll be fun together because I've played and I understand a little bit, so I can answer questions as we're going through, which is always fun when you jump in with somebody. Like when we've jumped in with Battlefield, the new season with you, you've already kind of had us set up. We were good to go. What did you just grab? What was that?
Are we going to talk about this on the next episode? The end of an era?
Oh yeah, I'm about to, you know what? You're right. Before we wrap up today, because we've been going for a little while, boys, we've covered Resident Evil Requiem. We have covered Marathon. For me right now, I would say for Marathon, for everyone that's watching, I suggest you just wait and see if you like it, watch streamers, watch people, and if you think you would like it, jump in. If you don't, the good thing is it's not a full price game. It's $40. It's $40. It's cheaper to jump into, and even the ultimate edition ends up being $60 if you want to get some extra skins and cosmetics. But for me, I didn't really care about that. I thought the characters look cool enough as is, so I'm like, I'm good. It's $40. Let's play. And then again, you know how it is. If you enjoy it and you want to support them, buy some skins. But again, it's not mandatory. So unlike Requiem, and if you have to choose between the two, Resident Evil Requiem immediately, 100% right now, straight to jail. No, go get Requiem. Marathon, if you, again, I would say a wait and see. It's not a day one, but for me it is. I'm excited to jump in. But we talked about this last week. The industry's kind of had a shift and it's kind of settled down too. And I sent the boys a message of Project Helix from Xbox, that their new console along those lines that it's coming. I haven't seen any news stories yet. I'll be honest. I saw it right before we jumped on. So in real time, if anything has come out, I would love to hear it. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about real quick is, I don't know if y'all saw it, but everyone that's watched the show so far knows I'm a big Diablo head. I love Diablo, and Diablo 4 had a developer direct. I'll be really quick about this. Warlock looked amazing. Bunch of different builds. It's the season of the Butcher. I know Nick, I don't know if you can hear us right now, but the Butcher, you get to become the Butcher, which is like a super like crazy demon from all the Diablo games, Dave. If you guys get a chance, you can see it. But I don't know, it's a short season because they're like getting one more season in before the expansion.
Oh,
I think that's the best way to do it. It's cool. I don't know if you saw it, dude. Like, you get to become him. He has his own skill set. You get to like run dungeons as the Butcher. I think it's a gimmick, but it's a fun gimmick.
Yeah.
But the Warlock looks amazing. I cannot wait for Lord of Hatred. And we might have to divide and conquer. You need to fix your HDMI, because I think I gotta go Lord of Hatred, you go Saros, and Dave goes Pragmata, because those three all come out within a week of each other. It's gonna be crazy. And my loyalty, I want to play Saros, I want to play Pragmata, but I gotta go in the Lord of Hatred. That's where the heart wants what the heart wants, and it wants Blizzard slop.
Well, dude, and I know this will be another episode probably, but seeing that news about PlayStation making the pull back, taking their games off of PC as well. And that's the whole loop right now. This news just came out today about this new Xbox that's supposed to play PC games as well. And I think, what do you think? That might be PlayStation being like, well, you're not going to be playing our shit on an Xbox. So
I don't even think it's that, Dave.
It'll
What
be
I
a
think
fatal error.
It's the sales. I think when the PlayStation first put their games out on PC, it was like, oh, this is awesome. But it's kind of lost its luster, and I think, and correct me if wrong, we can look into the research. I doubt that the PC games are even like 5% of their total like revenue. I think they just realized it wasn't a Denver, but also I think you might be on something there with like them making this jump to basically a console PC hybrid with Xbox. Absolutely. Your competitor is slowly dying out. Again, like, put the boot to the throat if that's what you want to do, or if you don't care. I mean, all their games are on your console. Everything that's going to come out is going to be on your console. Like, again, I get the Xbox loyalty, Nick. I get that you had a bad experience with PlayStation customer service, but when you look at it from a solely analytical point, it's not a console war anymore. It's an existence for Xbox, I feel like. And like, maybe this Project Helix comes out and it's amazing, but like, the console war was lost years ago, and it's just like, we'll see. I want Xbox to continue to exist, but I think it might just exist in a niche market, kind of like the Steam machine will. Like, I think that's where it's at now, and the two major like competitors, and I don't even think they compete with each other, because Nintendo doesn't compete with anyone. Nintendo is Nintendo, and I think that's what we'll talk about. I think it'll be, no one's really competing, which is never going to be good, but no one's really competing with each other because Xbox has given their games to PlayStation. So it's like, okay, well, you guys you can play on this ecosystem, or you can play on ours, or you can play on Nintendo's. And Nintendo's never gonna let anyone have their games. They're never
Yeah,
gonna do it.
I mean, I don't know. Them taking their games from PC is gonna do nothing but hurt their exclusives, though.
No, not at all. They don't sell over there. Even when Spider-Man 2 went out, it barely sold. Like they sell everything on their hardware. So if it was successful and it was making money, they would not have stopped doing it because it doesn't hurt them as of right now to do
Spider-Man
it.
2 on Steam, at least doesn't say the amount of downloads. I could look at that, but it has almost 14,000 reviews.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to its
That's
total
reviews,
sales.
though. Requiem has 26,000, but I bet you, I could tell you how much. Let me see. Y'all continue though. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't. Sure, they could try to fuck up Xbox, but if they want
I
their
don't think it's that,
exclusives
dude.
to be successful,
I think they're
I mean,
just
and I
gonna
get
have their
it's an
exclusives
exclusive.
be exclusive, and I
Yeah.
think what they're gonna do is what they did with Helldivers. Any of their live service games will definitely, if they're smart, make those multi-platform. I think that's a smart move because, like anything that they need that big audience to survive. But I think anything single player, I don't
Yeah.
see why you would put it on any. I don't see why because Xbox doesn't believe in that anymore. But like, there's no real reason like you put Fable on there except that you're just gonna put Fable on there because there's no reason to fight it anymore. Is how I don't know.
I
For
just
me.
mean for like the developers of the games and sales and all that stuff.
No, I understand that, but I mean, if it's not, it must not be making money. That's what or not making enough money to justify it. I should say better than that.
About
But
a
again,
million sales for Spider-Man 2 on Steam.
and what's the total sales of the game?
Let's see.
But again, like
Yeah.
we're
I
kind
definitely
of
get
like
what you,
picking apart here. Yeah.
I agree with you, Chris, that I don't think that,
Yeah,
everyone
11.
everyone has their
11 million.
cycle crowd, PC people want PC these days to be like playing like a streamer, playing these live service games and these multiplayer games. If someone's gonna get, not like Wolverine and Saros being PlayStation exclusives, like there's
Makes you want to buy a PlayStation.
yeah, those are games you want to sit back on the couch and play anyways, like like Spider-Man or other. So I think that will be the path. The live service games always, yeah, bring in more players, bring in more people willing to get a battle pass. But if you're trying to get people to buy your hardware, your machine, be like, oh well, this is the only way you can sit down on your 80-inch TV and play the new Wolverine. You got to buy this.
Well, also I would say in a Nick, we always joke around being the PlayStation Xbox guys back and forth, but like PlayStation is not without fault. They just closed down Blue Point not too long ago. We had a whole discussion about that last week. So it's like obviously they're looking where they can cut, and if they think this is a spot where they can cut, it's not going to hurt the bottom line that bad. That's how I look at it too. I think it's a double win for them. It's a kill two birds, one stone. It's like, okay, it hurts Xbox and we can save a bunch of money because the money we're making does not justify us doing it. Because it's developer costs. They got to optimize the game to be able to play on PC. And I don't pretend to know how that all works, but I'm sure it's not as easy as just copy and paste into a new thing. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, dude, I loved the PlayStation. The controller is way better than the Xbox, 100%. I'd say it's more comfortable, it's more intuitive, but their history of being hacked is just it's tough, dude. It's tough for me. Like that was a headache and a half, and it's like I just even if they drop the greatest game ever and their customer service is horrible. So that's what for me where it's like it just makes it so hard. Like if those two things were good, I would have fixed my HDMI and I'd be playing. I might have even got Requiem on the PlayStation. I don't know. But and those two things have nothing to do with the games. They have nothing to do with the exclusives. They have nothing to do with the interface of PlayStation, the parties, how the whole thing works. But those are two things that like just really soured the experience of the whole system for me because I just think I'm like, man, if I get hacked again and then I'm gonna have to battle with customer service for 3 days to get back into my own account that I've dropped hundreds of dollars on games for. You know, it just that's what really did it for me.
No, I mean, again, I understand that, and that's where, like, like what I said, we got to take it away from just a fully analytical standpoint with no feelings involved, and facts over feelings, and it just shows that PlayStation's dominating, and then like even the PS5 is outsold the Switch 2. You know what I mean? The Switch 2 is brand new, so I mean, I don't know if that's more speaking about Nintendo more than it is PlayStation, but that's something to look at as well. But I think we let this sit, let it simmer a little bit. I'm curious to see with this Helix. We got the teaser this week. We'll
Yeah,
see how that all looks.
we could keep
See how it
going
all.
for a while. I was
Mhm,
I was cooking up all these thoughts, but I'm like, let's
Yeah, we could go on
let's save it
forever.
for next. Let's save it for another time when we have a little more information.
Absolutely. And I think, honestly, I'm thinking next week might be a good time to really deep dive this because that's given us about 2 weeks to ruminate. They're making these announcements. We'll see what other news pops up between now and then because it seems like with both these two, they're always something. It's like the good with the bad. Like Requiem comes out, but then also they're closing down studios and stuff like that. So, but again, great episode, boys. I mean, we covered a lot. I think the takeaway from this episode is Resident Evil Requiem is a must play. Go play, have fun, be a part of it. It's if you have the means, get in there. But I just want to thank both of you guys for jumping on here with me tonight. I want to thank the audience, and when we get the audience gets in your live and starts throwing questions in those chats, we'll be sure we're reading those. This will be our new format going forward. We are still going to try to get Wednesdays. But we're gonna work with our schedule. You can always we'll always have a live episode coming to you guys every week, Wednesdays or Thursdays. We'll make it happen. That's the grinding game mentality right there. We're gonna make it happen with all of us. And I appreciate you guys again. I know I've said it multiple times, but I appreciate you boys jumping on here with us, talking games, having fun. Next week, we're looking at a full deep dive into Marathon. All of us will have gotten hands on at that point. Depending on where we are in Resident Evil, I would love to go into a full spoiler. Maybe it's a little too early. We'll think about it, but
Yeah,
we'll let
we'll finish it.
the news. Yeah, we'll let the news decide where we go next week, boys. But any plans for the rest of the evening? Marathon? Yes? No? Maybe? Bedtime?
I'm
We'll
gonna
see.
test the waters. But I'm not. I
See what
might.
upstairs has to say.
It looks like it's only about 20 gigs or so it should be a pretty quick download.
Oh, it's a fast download. Yeah, it was quick when I downloaded this morning. I was like, oh, damn. Okay, cool.
Dave's over there
Yeah.
playing a few rounds right now.
No,
I
it's
know. It keeps...
I got it started. It's showing it's 18 gigabyte on Series X, so not bad. It's slowing down probably because we're on a live show, but as soon as we get off, I bet it'll cook up and get downloaded. So maybe we could try some tonight, boys. But we'll talk about it next week for sure. I'm hoping I'll have a lot of good things to say for my love of Bungie, but I'm skeptical. You gave us some good notes on the game, and maybe it'll be something that you just have to give it some time, acquire that taste for.
Absolutely. Well, we'll leave the audience with this last question, and we'll make sure we put it in our comment section as well. Which matters more long term? Requiem's critical success or Marathon sticking this live service landing? We'll leave it up to you guys to let us know. We'll make sure we engage with you. But again, thank you, everyone. This was our first live episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed. We had a ton of fun doing it. And always remember, keep grinding, keep gaming. We'll see you guys next week. Boys, have a good evening. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good night, boys.